How's it going, everybody? Are you guys ready for live sound, talk? We're just having a coffee together. Welcome to another month. How was your weekend, everybody? How everybody had fun? I know I had fun. This week on my plate, only music shows. I cannot be more happier than that. Having fun. Pretty big show, if you ask me. I billed last week the Montreal Gala Country show. It's something like 56 input and 18 monitor mix, 16 stereo in-ear, and 2 floor monitor stereo setup. So a lot of thing on my plate this week. My plan is for tomorrow to do an album launch with a beautiful artist called Melina. Guys, you know, when you're doing a band and everything comes together, sound engineer, the band, players are awesome. This is what I have on my plate for tomorrow. I will ask if I can get some live track and maybe some rearrange and mixing course with those sessions. The player on that band are just amazing. Melina is Adele-ish singer, you know, a lot of soul, a lot of pop, adult pop music. It's gonna be a pleasure for me to mix that with the Wing. Awesome. I'm spending the Wing the week with the Wing this week. Now that I have sold my Pro ones, I'm carrying my Wing around with me. It's harder on my back until I get a compact. Eventually, I'm planning on getting a compact. It's harder on my back, but I can get some great result. Actually, last Friday, I did a show where I'm usually doing monitor with the Pro 1. I replaced the Pro 1 with the Wing. And Wing, DL231, the guys could not be happier. It's, for that band, it's the perfect balance of fatness of the DL231 preamp and the cleanness of the Wing. Together is just the perfect middle ground. This is how some of the player in the band describe it to me. The perfect middle ground of, you know, fat, chunky, sponges preamp with the cleanness of console, but it has definition. It has, you know, some of the guys told me, usually with cheap console, I ask for like a high shelf at around like 5 or 6K to bring the high end, but not needed there. So, again, the Wing. I know some of you guys are not familiar with the Wing. The Wing, man, they're awesome. Gonna have a great time with that this week, and I'm doing that band next Saturday, so I will keep you guys updated on how things went, but basically a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So first, let me say hi to you guys in the chat. What's up, Pancho? Always good to have you back here, my friend. Rob, what's up? Your rack from Toman is scheduled to be delivered tomorrow. Yeah, a lot of people getting the rack. I think in Canada we were left behind a little bit. I got myself a pre-order for a rack because no provided stuff for me. I got myself a rack. I'm planning on getting 3 compact for the moment. You know, 1 to have in my basement to keep the Wing stuff happening. 1 that's going to be on a tour, and 1 for my day-to-day job that I'm going to bring around. So I don't know if the one in the studio is going to be maybe flexible. I don't know what's the plan, but for now, as soon as I can get my hand on 3 compact, they're coming my way. I'm still debating about the road case, so if you guys got some interesting idea about the road case, it will be a pleasure for me to do so. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Stefan, you told me to take the screen protector off my Wing rack. Does the protector cause problem with the touchscreen? The protector will cause problem with the touchscreen because it's not, you know, it's a glass in front of the touchscreen. So it should react better without the plastic on top of it. Because, you know, the way that those glass work, it's like your phone, your iPad. It's the capacitance of your fingertips. The fact that you conduct electricity or you're a pad to ground, that tells the screen where your finger is on the screen. So it's just going to react better. And if it was broken from the factory, the fact that you take the plastic film on it off, it's not going to change anything. I will acknowledge this. Some console had, from the factory back in the day, defective touchscreen. It has been fixed by Behringer. If you guys have a hard time with your screen, please contact Behringer. I know in some cases, I cannot promise anything. I do not work for Behringer. I do not have any affiliation with them other than having access to some of the stuff before the public, but I'm not involved financially. I'm not getting paid by Behringer. I do not get any product for free. I didn't get a compact or a wing for review, anything. All I can say is go opening a ticket with Behringer if you have a problem with a touchscreen. Apparently they help some people even if they are out of warranty. So thumbs up to them. I think it's worth mentioning for Behringer. I think it's a cool thing that they do that. They help people, even if they're not obligated to. After the 3-year warranty is over, they are not obligated to help you, and they're doing it. So double thumbs up to the Behringer team. Guys, you rock. Are the wing pre's the same as the blue box pre's? Apparently, yes. My tests that I've done are really close. It's definitely, like, sonic-wise, really close. I heard, don't quote me on that, I heard that it's exactly the same preamp, component and everything, but there's a difference in the converter. I think it's not the same converter as the blue box, but I'm not, deep enough in electronic knowledge to assure you of what I'm saying now. This is something that I've read. Could be false information. Please, take that with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure it's really, really close. Really, really close to being the same preamp, if they're not the same. Batch is fully covered by warranty since it's a manufacturing issue. Yeah. But in some, for the newer model, but even some of the old wing that had problem with their touchscreen rub apparently were repairs. So, yeah, a lot of good thing from the Behringer side. They don't have to do that, and they're just doing it. So, thumbs up to Behringer. You guys rock. Seriously. Dazzle Dream, good to see you, man. Always a pleasure to have some of the more, I don't know if vocal is the right word, but more keyboard eclectic viewer on the channel. Always good to have you back, man. It's really good. You make my chat rate go up, which means YouTube understand there is some interaction happening here. So, it's good for the channel. This week, this is my mantra. Keep calm and carry on. I have a lot on my plate, a lot of good show, a lot of big shows. Dealing with 56 input is not something that I do daily. It's not a problem. I mean, doing big bands and a lot of wireless mic is something that I've done before. I'm just not doing that, weekly. It's going to be a busy week for you too, Dons. It's a good thing. This is why I relabeled the stream Live Engineer Talk. Casual talk. We're having a chat, a bunch of sound engineer together. This is the kind of community that I love. I'm so happy to do these weekly meetings with you guys. It's going to be a lot of pleasure to keep doing this for the rest of my life if I have to. It's not a promise. It's just we'll try to do that, right? So for Dazzle Dream, corporate wedding, one theater show. Theater show is honestly something that I try to stay away from. It's to me, it's not that fun to mix, and it's more, mechanical sound engineering than full mixing. Yesterday, Yesterday I was with my friend Simon in the church, little acoustic set, lead singer, one backup, two acoustic guitar, one electric, and a kick, and I had full, creative over the show that way. I'm doing a lot of stuff with delays. I'm, having fun creatively, where theater show is just like, okay, mic 1 on, mic 2 out, reverb for a song. Song's playing, cue song, go. Not something that I don't want to say not something that I enjoyed, but it's not where I feel the most creative. My creative side is not satisfied with theater show. Just put it out this way. I'd rather do corporate event. If I have to put my brain on hold for a few hours, I'd rather do a podium and a couple, headset mic than doing that. Antoine Francini. Antoine Francini. Bonjour. Can you do a setup on your? Can you do a video? Sorry, I'm translating. Translating is hard. It's already hard to speak one language. So, hello. Could you do a video on your live setup? Qu'est-ce que tu veux savoir, Antoine, à propos du setup que j'ai en ce moment ou ma wing, mes DL 231, mes DL 251. Qu'est-ce que tu veux savoir juste pour être certain qu'on parle de la même chose? Pancho, what board are you going to use with 52 inputs? It's going to be the wing. I have a bunch of stereo input on that one. If I remember correctly, well, I did the setup last week. I have from the top of my head stereo stuff. I have the overheads, a couple of guitars, keyboards, backing tracks, like a lot of lineup backing tracks, and they all like stack up together in mono channel. I'm using, if I remember correctly, with crowd mic, 40 channel of the 48 available on the wing to do 52 input, if I remember correctly. So a lot of stereo stuff. We do old. No, we don't do old rock band. Sorry. We do rock band and old theater sound. Great with all the curtains. Yes. It sounds great. The more as dead as your room can be, the best it is. Hold on. Do you guys have background music? It's not playing, right? It's not playing. Hold on. Let me fix that. What's going on with the background music? I feel dry a little bit. Hold on. Let's get some lo-fi hip-hop going, right? Do you guys hear it, maybe? Maybe it's just me. No, it's not. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Oh, better. No music yet. Okay, it's better now. Because I'm putting a little bit in the monitor behind me, so now it should be good for you guys. So that way when I do silent stuff, we still have a good vibe going in the background. Antoine, sur la console et sur les racks. Parfait, je peux faire ça. Je peux faire une mise à jour. Ça fait quand même un moment que j'ai pas fait ça. Antoine was asking me about my console and my racks. It's been a while since I've done an upgrade. I think the last one that I did was my X32 core with my DL251. So, is it too loud, the background music? Because usually it's too loud. So, let me know if it's too low or not. Yeah, basically, as soon as I'm gonna put my hand on the rack, I'm gonna build a new rack, and I'm gonna build in-ear monitors and that thing. My plan is, for now, to have a wing rack, kind of acting like my small rig, my small bar rig. It's gonna be the rack. It's gonna be a Stage Connect device, or I'm debating if I should. Well, actually, I have coming on the way a Hub 4 and a DL8. Don't want to mix up thing here. A DL8 that's already coming my way. I've already ordered these before I had the rack, so I think that's gonna be the rack, and I'm planning on adding in-ear monitors to that. I would love to have Behringer in-ear monitor and give them a try, but they're not available in North America for me to order right now. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if they're going to be available from Long McQuaid or not in Canada, but I don't see anything for me. They're not on Amazon, so we'll see. Robert, I sold my X32 Big Boy weeks ago. Already missed her? Come on, you have a wing. It has been in the case most of the time since I got the wing. Yeah, you don't need. Okay, I'll be careful with my word here, but if you have something like an X32 or a M32R or something, it's not worth the upgrade if you're not maxed out. But if you are maxed out, if you reach 100% of the available option of the console, you can think about getting a wing. Or if you are in the market for an X32, you say, you know what, an X32 is enough on my plate for what I do. Well, be on the lookout for X32. They're going to be available for really cheap from now on. A lot of people are going to upgrade. I think, as soon as the wing rack start to ship, we'll see more and more X32 rack for dirt cheap. So if you guys want to have something for your rehearsal space that you want to leave there, you have your stuff plugged in that space and you never want to carry it around, maybe be on the lookout for an X32 rack. They are amazing product still to this day. Like for a rehearsal space, I think it's going to be more than enough to run your in-ear and maybe a couple speaker. And to do big shows, or do your usual show, I think the wing rack offer a lot more to be picky about stuff, or to be precise about stuff. So, all right. Antoine, trop cool. Merci en tout cas, j'adore ce que tu fais. Really liking what I'm doing. Thank you very much, Antoine. Appreciate it. Last question. My opinion on the wing. What can I say that I've not already said before? It's a great... If I had to summarize the wing is the most affordable mixer for the amount of feature that you get. Period. Nobody else can offer, or nobody else at the moment offer that much feature, and especially not at that price. Like, of course, if you're talking about the Digico stuff, they have more feature. But now that most of the common complaints are fixed, delay everywhere, buses everywhere, Matrix can now, or channel can now be sent to Matrix. Matrix can be turned into in-ear mixes too. So you have a console. Let's say that you go with the compact one. You have a console, you can get a single stage box of 32 input, and that console combined with the local in and out, you have a crazy amount of input. You have up to, if you really want to be out there, you have up to 28 different mix bus options. So your main mix and 27 stereo in-ear monitors. And add to that, some of the cheapest stage box option. If you want to have a lot of those, you can have 3, on a single wing, you can have 3 DL32, 3 DL16, divided in 48 by 24 per AS50 line. Add to that the local in and out, and the option to almost deal all these input at the same time. I mean, it's crazy for the price that you pay, because a compact and a stage box will get you under $5,000. It's not much. It's the price, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it will be the price of an SQ5 or half the price of the Wave LV1, the Emotion console. I don't remember how much a Aventus Solo is, but it's pretty much in the same price too. So for about half the price of these consoles, you get pretty much the same or more feature for half the price. Some people won't like it because it says Behringer on it. Nothing you can do about that. I mean, I remember having conversation with guys when the X32 was, it's been released for a few years. The guys were saying, I would never try that console because it says Behringer on it. And I was like, okay, the problem is not the console. It's you. If I cannot change your mind, if you're not, if a lot of people having good experience with that and you're not open-minded enough to at least give it a try. Give it a try, say it sucks for this. But if you're not going to touch it because it says Behringer on it, sorry, man. I cannot help you. With the Behringer rack, we need to use small snakes again. Well, this is why I bought a DL8. And yes, Rob, DL8s are to pre-order from distributor right now. This is how I've got mine. I've ordered a DL8 and a Hub 4 from the distributor. They should arrive in Canada really soon. They were expected mid-October, so I'm waiting for an email any day now to put my hands on these. Trust me, I'm going to do a review as soon as I get one. But yeah, that's the plan for now. The rack has 24 line input. No, it's not line input. It's 24 microphone preamp. The rack is not only line input like the Stage Connect device would be. It's all mic pre's. The X32 rack is great for a backup if your main board is failing. Yes, or if you are a band that can, live with 16 plus a couple line in. I mean, some power trio rock band, you can do a drum on 8. You can do 3 vocal. Let's say you're a power trio. You can do 3 vocal, and you have enough input left for a stereo guitar, a bass rig, and maybe an acoustic, or even a fourth guitar player in there, like a regular band. You can do 8 input of drums, 2 stereo guitar, so that's going to be 12, and you have enough, vocal left. And you can do everybody a stereo in-ear mix and still have a main out if you want to mix your own show. If you have a sound engineer with an iPad in the crowd, you can do that. Rob, I will keep my 232 rack. They will double a stage box. Yes, definitely. That can work. Dumpster Dream, we really need to have socket delays and socket polarity. Yes and no. I mean, I don't know how much they could migrate the delay in the delay in phasing problem. But the thing is, and I'm thinking about this as I'm thinking out loud. If they need to add 364 or 60 or 82. I don't remember how many outputs is possible on the wing. If they need to add that amount of, line delay and output polarity, I don't know if the console has the available in and out processing for that. You understand what I mean? If you say that you're doing that by socket, that means you can have one mix bus to 300 output, and you would need to have separate delay and separate polarity for that. So, I'm not sure it's processing wise. I'm not sure it makes sense. I think it's way too wide, way too quick. Are the Matrix stereo on the wing? Yes, they are. Every single channel or bus is mono or stereo on the wing. That's a dream. I just got one DL8 to DN the 4888, so that's the 8 in 8 out. The DN16O, so that's if I'm, oh no, is the DN 4816U. I don't remember. One is for Stage Connect and one is USB to Stage Connect, one is Stage Connect to Ultranet. Waiting on 2-wing rack and a wing compact to arrive. Been preparing all the rack. Oh, I cannot wait. Actually, I'm gonna build my own rack for the compact. My plan for now is to use I'm just still debating on 14 or 16 rack plus 8 console on top. Maybe 14 to have the console not sitting too low, so I can sit behind the console and not having it like here. But yeah, that's the plan, and I'm gonna film the whole thing. I'm not really good at telling you guys how to build stuff, but if I have to build a road case, at least I will make a video out of it. Each source have their own polarity switch, and in addition to the channel switch. So yeah, but for the output, I mean, I think it makes more sense to have it for the bus and just the bus, or yeah, I think it's the right term to use here. All your matrix mix bus and your 28 mix bus available on the wing. So your 16 monitor bus, matrix, 4 main outs, and stuff like that. And think about it. You can add user signal to that if you really want to be picky about it. And if you want to have small delay or small control option, you can always have a speaker manager on that source. But I think because of the way too complex amount of in and out available, I think it makes sense to limit ourselves to the bus itself. So matrix, main out, I think it just makes sense. And thinking about it seriously, can you imagine giving your setup to someone and say, oh, okay, output 128, which you're using to AS50C48. Yeah, this one, make sure to check the polarity on this one, because I flipped it the other day because those speaker that were used for somewhere were out of phase with something. So make sure to check that. I think it will be way too confusing, way too quick. So yeah, no, as much as I understand why some people would like to have that, I would think it will be way too confusing for a lot of people. And to be honest, the wing is already confusing for a lot of people. Everybody that is watching this channel as a regular, if you are doing live sound for a living, you guys are way too knowledgeable versus other people that only work on console as a hobby 1 day a week, like the church guy. I love the church guy to that. You guys are passionate about what you're doing, and I'm all about that. But if you don't have the background, basically what I hear is the wing is confusing for people that don't know what they want to do with something. If you pick up a piece of gear and you go like, okay, I need this piece of gear to fix this, and doing something that I want to do this way, or this way. Guys, if you have that thinking, you're way ahead of most of the people using these consoles. You're really good, you're knowledgeable, but the thing with the wing, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the thing with the wing is the price point. It's so affordable that people think it's a cheap mixer. It's not. It's a complex, if you want to, it could be a complex piece of gear where you can get lost very, very fast. And let me backtrack a couple years ago. Let's go 10 years ago. When you were building a mix, the only tool that you had was an analog console, maybe a couple compressor, and a 31 Benny cube. We are millions of miles away from this now. Like just on an X32, the amount of compressor, gating, reverb option that you could do, and I'm not talking about complex routing. I'm talking about just a channel strip. Man, it's taking a while for people to ingest all that information and know what to do with it. And especially if you have no idea what the difference between the wing stock compressor and a 1176. They do not operate the same. They're different kind of compressor, and I'm not talking about, let's say, VCA compressor versus whatever. I'm talking about the way that they operate with the 1176 with an input gain that you crank with a fixed threshold, where the other one is a movable threshold. All that stuff, for somebody that say they cannot hear compression, is out of this world. So the wing is a great tool. It offers a lot, but my plan as soon as I get the compact is to do a video where I want to say, you know what, the wing can be expanded and confusing, but you don't have to go there. It's not because you have all the socket, in your wrench box that you need to use them all. You only need the 10 millimeters, which is, those of you who don't know, a really common socket to use if you work on cars or pretty much everything. 1/2 inch for my American friends and 10 millimeter for everywhere in the world. It's a really popular one. So, that's the one, that's your bread and butter. That's the one you need. So I want to do a video where, let's say on the compact, if you never worked with the wing before, I want you to use like the basic gate, the basic wing compressor, and by default everything is going to main out 1. So I basically want to show people that you can, yes, take a microphone, plug it into 1, give it some gain, and it's gonna go out of main output, basically. Robert, it took me 2 weeks before I was comfortable on how the wing works, and I tend to think that I know a thing or two. Yeah, I mean, the first day that I got it, back in firmware 1.2, 3, 4, I believe, it's been a while, I thought I could do a show on it. Like, if I had to, I would make it work, but it was confusing. It was a new interface, learning a new interface. And I felt the same way when the first time that I got an X32. The other digital mixer that I was using back then was Yamaha M7CL. The X32 was really different. Took me a day, and the first time that I went out with the digital patch, I almost had no gig because I didn't understand how the clock was working, because the clock could come from the stage box. It was only DL16 back then. DL16, the clock source should be like, do I need 2 cable? Do I need 1 cable per patch? No, actually you can daisy chain, and I almost had no gig the first time that I used an X32. Nowadays, I'm a better sound engineer. I grew up from analog to digital. I mix, my first few years wasn't mixing, only analog, because there were no digital console broadly available for the peasant that were doing all-age show in local venue. So nowadays, it's pretty much the other way around, where most of the venue that I know, the punk bar, they all have X32. Because that's the best thing they can afford. And they have beat up X32, and you have to know that stuff. So they eventually going to replace those probably by wing, because you're at that price point, the only few option that you have is PreSonus. My experience with PreSonus has not been great so far, to be honest. And the SQ stuff, SQ5, or probably maybe some of the venue will get the SQ5, because I believe some people will sell their SQ5 to get on the wing boat, because I think you can sell your used SQ for the price of a brand new compact in a stage box. So we'll see what's going on with that. But yeah, it's a learning curve. But Because the thing is, a lot of people, and I don't know why they're doing this, when they start on a new setup, they try to achieve 100% use of the product from the first, get-go. And they try not to keep things simple. They're going to have complex routing. They're going to have, multiple buses going into matrix, going to multiple bunch of speaker instead of using, the signal chain, the simplest signal chain ever, which is, microphone plug into one, whatever signal chain that you have on the channel, going to your bus, your main one, and out the console. People don't do that. I don't know why, but people don't do that. So, the wing is very deep and complex if you want to. It doesn't have to be. I could not say it better. Don't drink. Thank you, man. All right. What time is it? Today, I'm, hold by the clock. I have a lot of meeting for what's going on next week. I was supposed to have a meeting at 2:30. It was moved to tomorrow. So I have probably another 25 minutes. So what you guys want to talk about? And I have just enough coffee left in my mug to keep me on for 25 minutes. So we should be good. I want to try to keep this one in an hour. So I don't know if I mentioned that, but the Wing Compact is on Sweetwater right now, so no affiliate link in the description. I do not work with Sweetwater. Actually, my last experience with Sweetwater was rocky at best. Well, okay, let's be honest. It's not Sweetwater. It's all UPS that got me over. I ordered a 8x8 Stage Connect box. I don't remember which one. Is it the 4888? I believe it's this one. And UPS, for some reason, even if I paid $300 for the product from Sweetwater, it was on clearance for a demo. They already had a fire sale going, and they had a demo unit for a discount. And UPS decided that the price on the package was not good. They decided that it was worth 500 something USD, and they asked me for I believe it was $170 in fee and taxes. Well, actually, taxes were $25, which is the regular price that I should have paid for that. But they asked me for the total with handling fees and communication and screw you fee and fees and everything around $170. So I just turned it around, and Sweetwater gave me my money back right away. So thanks to Sweetwater, UPS, screw you guys. I hope to never work with you again. How are you planning to set up your forthcoming gears, complex setup or KISS? I would not set it up for the band KISS, if that's the question, Rob. I tried to stay away from people that are more about selling merch than playing music, but different story. My plan for real for the next with the new setup is to have, like I said, the wing rack with the hub 4 and the DL8 in a single rack. It's going to be an 8-space rack, and I plan to have in-ear monitor in there. I would love to have 4 the PSM 300. This is where the 3 is coming from in my head, and I think I'm gonna go. We'll have to go this way. I'm gonna have 3 PSM 300. I'm going to have the rechargeable pack with the SB900 batteries. I know they are $100-something a piece. But man, having the pack... I know, Rob. Just keep it simple and stupid. The total opposite of what the band KISS is about. With firework and heel platform and everything. But the plan is to have that with rechargeable batteries in the kit, so that way I don't have to play around with anything. I show up to the gig, put the pack in the charger, in the rack. I'm probably gonna have a drawer. Put the pack in there, let it charge. Gig is ready. All right, take your pack 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the band. The drummers will be wired from a headphone amp, and that's gonna be it. I took a look at the Sennheiser stuff, the new release from Sennheiser, and I cannot justify to put 20 grand on a kit of in-ear. I simply do not have the rental power to pay it back in, a matter of time that makes sense. So we'll see what's going on with that. And for the compact, when I'm thinking about it, is like I was explaining, I want to build myself a case. I want to have my 2 DL231. I want to have space for UPS under it, because sometimes it's worth to have a UPS. It's not much here in Canada. We have the most stable and cleanest energy in the world, and rarely do we have power drops or power fluctuation even. I mean, other than 1 or 2 volt difference in the wall, depending on what your neighbor is doing, not much happened here power wise. You're never protected from a lightning hitting something or a generator in a festival going bad. So it happened to me actually when I was doing the Osheaga Festival about 10 years ago. The person that locked the cam lock in that generator plugged in the white, which is the neutral connector, and didn't twist it. So in the middle of the show, things start to flicker, and I went to the generator, saw the white cam lock on the ground, didn't think about anything, and plug it back in, and stuff started to work again. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but yeah, stuff started to flicker and everything was fun. But to avoid those problems, I'm gonna get a UPS, and if power goes out, well, that's gonna be it. I'll be good for a few minutes of okay, what's going on here? We have no power. Okay, let's shut down everything, do a safe shutdown, save the shows and everything. And it's gonna be it. So, yeah. And what else I plan to have? Maybe I'm thinking about having, a console, a rack mount console system with a Mac Mini. Those rack mount, basically screen and keyboard that just pull out of the rack, lift up, and you have a keyboard and usually a VGA screen with adapters. I could probably figure out something for a Mac Mini to work in there to record show. But the more I think about it, I don't really see myself having a real need for that. The only thing I may want to do with the wing that I cannot do with the console itself is dentate patch. So if I'm ever in a situation where I have to do dentate patch, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with that, but I don't see myself using for now a computer in that rack. It's going to be only the wing. It's going to be basically a UPS, the 2-stage box, a couple rack space for if I ever want to put something in there, and I want to have a compact laying flat on that case. The plan is to have all those rack mount space and having the 2 sides of the case being table. When you open up the case on each side, you have table. And if I really want to be crazy about something, I probably will have a screen in the other part of the case that I will lift. Imagine a case on the side. When you pull out the 2 front cover, you just have the console there, and you have a little U-shaped piece of case from the top. I'm just going to take that out and maybe have some stuff stick in there. Could be... Actually, I don't know if there is a Raspberry Pi version of Dentate controller. If it's working on Linux, I can probably just get a Raspberry Pi to do some Dentate patching, but I don't see myself using much. They have Dentate sockets inside, don't they? We're talking about the compact and the rack. They have internal slots where you can put either a Dente card or a Wave card at the moment, but they are connected to the network port. So yeah, all the wing have internal Dente card. Not Dente card. They have internal slots where you can put a Dente card or a Wave rack stuff. I don't plan on using Wave rack at the moment. I don't see myself needing the Wave stuff for now, but it's going to be an option. Well, I have a slot in my console. I can probably decide if I want to go Dente or if I want to go Wave eventually in the future. But for now, I have a Dente in my full wing. I have another Dente card coming in from the state. Somebody on Facebook 2 weeks ago posted a really cheap Yamaha 64 channel card. I'm just gonna take the Broken 2 card out of that, firmware update it, and drop it in the wing. And I need to check this out, but if you guys are DIY and you only want to get a few channel of Dente, stop me if I'm wrong, but I believe you can take smaller Broken 2 card, let's say 8 channels, I believe is the smallest one. I believe you can take an 8 channel with flash of firmware on it and only have 8 channel available, but it's not good if you want to connect the stage box, but it's probably good if you want to have Dente communication on a setup. Let's say that you show up somewhere, you say, okay, everything here is Dente. Can I just send my main left, right? Or if you have 8 lines, so can I send, maybe your main and a couple matrix to somewhere? I don't know. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you can insert those cards and flash the firmware to them anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it will be recognized as a wing card, but with only 8 channel in and out. So if you see, again, double check my information. Do not trust YouTuber blindly. Be on the lookout for that, but sometimes you can have really good deal on old hardware with internal Dente broken card that can be repurposed to do something else. My wear rack will be a DN4088, 2 ULXD going via Dente to the wing rack. I have 2 quad channel ULXD stuff. I love them. It's I use them a couple times a week and I love it. I just love it. I'm gonna spend this week with a couple of Dente ULXD mic. Maybe I'm gonna try to use them over Dente, to save. I have if I remember correctly, I have 14 wireless channel of ULXD on that show, so probably gonna be better to have just a single cable plug in my wing, and I'm gonna have my laptop to do the Dente controller stuff. That's the dream. I keep my RF in-ear monitor and RF mics in the dock in the rack. Plug the rack in, and it's charging done. Okay. Robert, my in-ear monitors live in a small case with a Hub 4 Pro, portable and easy to move between system. Makes total sense. This is why I believe the Stage Connect device will be awesome. Let's say that you have a rack, you have 8 in-ear in there. You have 1 Stage Connect, 16 out. Just go a single XLR, boom, 16 in-ear just plugged in, all run into a single XLR. Because I believe there's no Dente offering from Shure or Sennheiser at the moment. Well, there is one from Sennheiser with the new released system. I don't remember the name, but the newest released as of last week. But just the base itself, just the one rack unit that control everything is around 10 grand. You have to add the antenna, and you have to have you need to add the pack, which is really cool because the pack are in-ear and a instrument or headset transmitter, so it's a 2-in-1. I believe they are transceiver. This is how they call them, transmitter receiver, and you can have in-ear and a guitar instrument or an instrument of any kind. But you can basically have a mini XLR or a 1/8 depending on what Sennheiser did there. I prefer to have the small XLR, the micro XLR. I believe they make more sense, but anyway. But yeah, it's really expensive. It's cheaper. Let's say if you were to go PSM 1000 and accent microphone, I believe for a set of 8 it's cheaper, but it's not everybody that actually. When I talk to people about spending $1,000 on a PSM 300 Pro with the metal bell pack, they go like, "Oh man, I don't want the Pro stuff. I want the entry level." And I'm like, "That's the entry level." People are afraid to spend money on in-ear. Robert, I can recommend Power Station lines. The one from EcoFlow and similar instead of UPS. Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing for a UPS? Is it? I mean, the Power Station line. What's the difference? It's a battery pack basically. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing here, Rob. Charlie's Best. Hey, hello. Hi from Montreal, Canada. Hope you're doing well, man. I just Googled and I think Dente controller and Linux doesn't go together. I could be wrong. Okay, so here's my answer. Maybe there is no Raspberry Pi version of Dente controller. It will be fun to have. Just you have a single Pi, plug in your switch. You're just doing your routing. Shut that down. And I don't know if you guys know, but the Pi stuff. The Raspberry Pi stuff is amazing small computer to do simple thing to do like home automation, and if you want to have just a single computer to print out set list. Sometimes you want to have you want to make sure that you got something. You can get the coolest one I believe from Raspberry Pi is just a thick keyboard that has everything in there. You just need a USB-C for power. Plug that in. You have an HDMI output on that keyboard and other output because you can do more than that, but that's basically it. It's like a really tiny computer inside a keyboard, HDMI out. It's great to do like text, web browsing. I don't know if there's a version of Workbench available for a Raspberry Pi, but it can probably handle that kind of thing. It's a microcomputer. It's like less powerful than probably most of the phone right now, but it's Linux controlled. It's x86. It's awesome to do. Is it x86 or it's ARM? No, it's ARM. It's ARM, but it's a really affordable and fun computer to have. If you want to have a quick computer with you and you want to build a rack and you don't want to spend a bunch of money to stick like something like a Intel NUC. You have those options and they are great. Duzzle Dream, can we reach out on something GPIO related? Yeah, sure. Let's give it a try. I wanted. Come on. Ugh. Let me get back to it. I don't read English today. I want to take one mic and with a GPIO momentary switch, be able to switch the first channel mic that goes to FOH and open a second channel. Okay, we've talked about that before, where you basically want to have a physical momentary switch, muting one microphone and unmuting on the other end. So having like one action, one switch that basically, if you're open on this side, it's gonna go like this and like this. Like having a toggle switch for that microphone on stage, using XLR. I know Radial is doing one. I don't remember the name because I want to say it. Come on. A Hotshot. Radial Hotshot. Its mic is always on channel 1 or output 1 of that box, and when you press the switch, it mutes line 1 and opening the mic on the mic's second output on that box, and when you lift your foot, it just go back to mic 1. You want to dedicate that to TalkBack only. TalkBack would go to wireless and your monitor into DP48. We can do that, right? I believe there's a way to do it. To me, if you... I try to think about it. Did we say the other day that we need to have one switch that was double action? And in the GPIO, using one GPIO TRS jack and having both, when you press on the switch, it's going to be a double action. So it will open or close both. It will open or close both GPIO switch, and it will flip that. Actually, it could be only one switch that would short both tip and ring, and you can have one normally. You basically, in your GPIO, you can tell if, GPIO switch, for those of you who don't know, it's just a small switch in there that knows if the circuit is open or closed. It's a TRS, so you have two, the tip and the ring of that cable. If they are open to ground, let's say that you have a 1/4 inch jack. Hold on, do I have a 1/4 inch jack here? I can probably show you guys that. Hold on. I probably have somewhere a 1/4 inch. I do. There we go. So this is a TRS jack. Basically, a GPIO switch is going to know if the ground, that part here, is getting in contact with the ring or with the tip. If there is continuity between these two, it means that the circuit is closed. If there are continuity between these two, it means that the circuit is closed. If there's not, it's open. The GPIO just know the difference between those two facts. If you have a switch where you close, so you basically take a big jumper cable, which is your switch, and I'm gonna use this piece of metal. If I were to touch everything here, I make contact between the switch. I make contact between, or the switch make a contact between the tip, the ring, and the sleeve. If you were to do that for your talkback mic, and just tell the console, when it's open, one mic is closed, one mic is open, and when it closed, I want this one to be open and this one to be closed. And the console will understand those actions like if you were to press a button. So yes, you can definitely do that. It's a matter of trial and error, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. Charlie's, I have Anchor power station. Okay, pretty much good. Here in all the recyclers have mostly APC stuff, so I can get a really cheap, affordable. Sorry, I don't mean cheap. I mean affordable. I can have a really affordable unit with dead batteries for less than $100. A 2,500 watt, which is more than enough for what I need. Let's say you can have a 2,000 watt for less than $100, and buying the batteries to replace them cost around $150 with shipping. Have those 4 12-volt battery to put in a UPS. So my understanding is it's cheaper for me to get used UPS from recycler, because those UPS, other than having dead batteries, they work just fine, to be honest. I have a cheap 400 watt APC in my computer rack where I have my Mac Mini and my server connected to that. So if I have a power loss, this one doesn't have that good of batteries, but I basically recharged the battery that were supposed to be dead from that UPS, and I made it work, basically. And for those, the battery are cheap. I think the batteries are like $20 at my local electronic shop. 20 to 25 bucks. For like less than 100 bucks, I can get a 400 watt UPS, which is for my computer fine. I believe for stage use with, the in-ear, and maybe if I have to connect a amp for some reason to somebody, I think I will go with something that is closer to 1800 watt or 2000 watt. So basically in North America, it's a 15 or 20 amp breaker circuit. I think a 20 amp will make sense for me, even if most circuits we have here is 15. But I'll see, I'll see what's on sale at the recyclers the week where I want to build the case, and basically that's going to be it. And I'm going to buy used battery, and funny enough, I have a metal recycler that is like 2 blocks away from where I'm living, because I'm living next to Industrial Park on the South Shore of Montreal. And I basically buy old batteries. So I'll get a couple bucks out of the old batteries, set a new one, and call it a day, basically. EcoFlow River 2 Pro. It's like a okay, it has UPS like functionality. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Rolf, what's up, man? Raspberry Pi does wing edit as well. Yes, interesting to know. Or interesting thing to note if you want to have wing edit. But let's say if I have a wing in front of me, I'm probably going to go and do my stuff on the console. Tons of Dream question is DP48 user source. So is there a way to do this and mute the source on DP48? I believe you can mute the source inside the wing that would go to the DP48. Robert, which Stay Connect device can we use to get the 32 channel of Ultranet 2 zone? Actually, I'm gonna segue that into. Have you guys seen the newer P24, P32, I believe, which will be a Stage Connect device that basically run like P16, but instead of using Ultranet, they're gonna use Stage Connect instead of Ultranet for traveling signal, which makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I can condense myself, or I can condense most Ben to use 32 channel if people want to mix themselves without in-ear monitor, without having everybody on their phone. So yeah, that's going to be a great new system coming out. It's not officially announced, but some people leaked picture of those from the latest, I don't remember what show it was, the AES. I think it was the AES convention where people saw those unit, and it looks interesting. I believe they have Stage Connect in and out, and they just require a power in the wall, and you'll be able to have in front of you 16 faders, so I'm gonna guess 2 layer of, I hope, automated fader that will switch, and you'll be able to do your mix from there. And I hope they can add LCD screen. Just names. I don't want the full LCD screen. I just want to have names. Make sure that you can name your stuff. I believe it's P32 or P24. I believe it's P24. Just freshly released from Behringer. All right, we just crossed the 1 hour mark, guys. That's gonna be it for today. Thank you very much for spending an hour of your afternoon, evening with me, enjoying a beautiful beverage of your choice. I prefer coffee, but feel free to watch this show with a freshly brewed beer or whatever that floats your boat. Guys, on that note, always a pleasure. See you next week. See what's left of me next week after doing 5 shows. And no, actually, I had 1 yesterday. Basically, 6 shows in 7 days. We're all going to go through this. We're all going to make it. And I will see you guys next week. Until next video, please, 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 please take care of yourself. And I'll see you all later.